Hello everyone, welcome. Today I want to share with you an overview about how this approach, that is content and language integrate learning, better known as Clil, has developed and continues improving the communicative language across the schools in Spain. Over the past 2 decades, Spain has emerged as a key European leader in the bilingual education. So they have been implemented this approach that is CLIL, and it is quite complex. It is not as simple as giving as a English class. So it is quite complex because, as we know, they integrate not only the target language, that is in this case English, also they uh, use the content of the specific subject that is gonna be uh, teach in the school or in the community where they are working with this approach. So today we'll examine the core pillars that make these programs function, and also we are gonna review the methodological strategies teachers use and some of the researchers what they said about the results and the challenges they are still facing. Some research by Ortega, Martin, Hughes, and Madrid shows that a successful CLIL program in Spain relies on five pillars that are the ones that are here in this picture. So the first one is the school management. Here is This one is essential because the personnel in this area is the one that has the most knowledge about running the program, the CLIL program, to know what are is the cognitive elements needed for this program, all the difficulties that can be presented at the time that they run the program. They know all the efforts that involve for that are involved in the teaching staff, in the for the students also, and the families that are part of the community and are the ones that are totally involved in this part of the approach of the CLIL. The number two is the bilingual coordinator. So these professionals are the bridge between the policies and practices, and they provide the key solution methodology for the teachers when they need it, and also they offer um, different materials or techniques that the teachers can use in the part when they have diversity in the classroom. So they use these classroom differentiations. Number three is the teaching staff. So it's one of the main resources in this area because they are the ones that develop all the CLIL curriculum in the bilingual classroom. The next one is the students. So they are the ones who get the benefit from the results of the appropriate implementation of the curriculum in the classroom. Something that works for this pillar that are the students is to prevent bilingual programs from becoming elitist. Something that they are doing is that in this area of the Spanish educational authorities emphasizes in the part to give digital platforms like blogs to maintain equality and increase also motivation and improve the classroom environment. The next one is the language assistance. So there are plenty of native conversation assistants who are the ones that spends more like 12 hours a week to support main teachers in non-supervisory roles, and also they help students to improve their skills in this methodology of the Clil. Methodologically, Clil is a dynamic program, and there are some guidelines that were published by regional governments that recommend those ones. For example, we have flexible work by task or projects. So the students have this flexibility in work by certain activities or even by projects to make clear uh, the subject and go to the real context in the task that they are going to develop. The second one is meaningful learning, focus on students and integration of L2 as vehicle of other areas or professional training courses. So as I told you before, so the CLIL give us this part to make it meaningful and motivate the students more and make them interest in the subject that they are learning through this methodology. The next one is classes contextualized around a theme that creates synergies between different departments. So also it is important to get classes that are totally in context about what the students are learning, and also will create this synergy as it says between other areas that they can share what topics or subjects are proper for the students in this CLIL method. Then we have the collaborative and cooperative work of teacher groups. So it is a important methodology. So collaborate with another teachers about what is going to work in the next classes or what is working at the moment. The next one is use of multiple resources, especially ICT. So the use of the technology in this kind of programs it is important, and now because we are living in a globalized world where the technology is it is an important tool to use. So there are many applications that as students we can use: Canva, Kahoot, WordWall, many others that help us to develop also knowledge and use also vocabulary from different sources that we have, and put in practice all the knowledge that we are getting in our Clil programs, or the subjects that are inside of this type of approach. Next one is the promotion of teamwork among teachers, contributing to sharing and creating common methods and activities. So, as I told you before, in this part is important to being collaborative with other teachers, because we can, as a teacher, we can give ideas, advices about what tools, what strategies have been working in our daily daily routines at schools when we are using this approach that is clean. Okay, talking about results, impact, and satisfaction, there are evidence regarding to this a second language acquisition that mention that they are totally positive. All the evidence are totally positive. Some authors like Ruiz de Sarobe in the Basque Country, and Perez Vidal and Roquet in Barcelona, and also La Huerta in Asturias, they confirms that Clil approach has been helping students significantly in their outperform in a better way rather than students in non-CLIL peers. So it has been positive because the CLIL students are um, are shown that their skills like reading, writing, and also the vocabulary that gain, and the grammar and their oral fluency has increased while they are taking the subjects through this approach. And also there are another studies that shows that increasing the second language exposure does not harm the Spanish language develop or performs in core subjects like mathematics, for example. And also, some of the surveys mention that the school community reflects high satisfaction rates in the CLIL implementation, like increased students' motivation, better language competence, and also broadened exposure in, to global projects as major advantages, as one of the major advantages. While talking about challenges and future directions in this approach, the first one is teacher training. So it is necessary to have teachers well prepared when we are going to put in practice this approach. The next one, attention to classroom diversity. So it is necessary nowadays. There are students with different necessities, so it is always necessary again to pay attention in this part of the classroom diversity. The next one, reduce teacher turnover. So this one is a good challenge because, well, when you have a teachers that they change every day, every year, uh, and move from one school to other, so that it's not so proper for the school that is teaching this approach. I think every teacher must have a formative area and keep the teachers that are well prepared and can help the school community to increase the skills in the students. The next one is improve access to specific materials. So this is also something necessary that we need um, in everyday class, to give good materials for the specific subject that we are going to teach, to make it attractive also for the students. And the next one, longit- longitudinal studies and empirical testing. So it is necessary to have a formative testings all the time, and being observing, have all the proof that are necessary for the students and as a proof for the families that are part of the community, and in some cases they are going to ask how is the development of their children's or the young. The next one is the cohesive framework developments. So it is necessary to have a cohesive framework like the Council of Europeans initiatives, that is a really good teacher competence. And well, in summary, Click in Spain has transformed language learning in all of the aspects, from an isolate subject into an active, and also into a communicative and cross curricular experiences. So it is a good approach that help teachers to become professionalized and students at the same time. So thank you. That's all. And see you next time.